Just curious if being at a wedding makes you crave or appreciate romantic love. Story 1. I have been to a few of my friends' weddings and I am very happy for them, but that is about it. It is always a plus when they have an open bar. Story 2. It depends on why I am at the wedding. If I know and care for the people, I am generally happy and excited to enjoy the night. If I am a +1 and barely know anyone, it is normally a matter of putting on a show and pretending to be engaged. I am always happy for the couple, but at the same time, weddings can be quite boring if you do not care for the couple. Story 3. I don't find typical weddings romantic at all. They feel like a mediocre party or family gathering combined with a performance. Usually, the couple has stressed over it for months. When I think about romance, it's something like a honeymoon somewhere special and peaceful with just the two of you, not standing in front of 150 people. That doesn't mean I mind attending most of them. I enjoy socializing, food, and drinks, but I rarely feel much romantic love during the events. I guess the peak 5 minutes of the ceremony is a bit romantic. Story 4. Look, I appreciate romance, I do, and I am usually there for a family member. That being said, large gatherings are not my thing, neither is dressing up in a rented suit. The last wedding I attended was my aunt's at a beautiful venue, but it was also in the middle of summer and I was sweating to death in my suit. Story 5. I have been a groomsman for some of my friends' weddings. I am there to support and encourage the groom, as all groomsmen should be. Story 6. I am pleased for the happy couple because that is what you are meant to say. I also know that it is an incredibly emotional event for most women who seem to have been planning, at least the concept of, their wedding since they started school. This is why I am polite and make the right noises to placate the women around me. To me, it is a party with rules, an event to enjoy with your friends and have some fun. It does not inspire any romantic feelings in me. I guess it is a statement of intent and confirmation as a couple, confirming they are committed to each other. Romance, to me, is something entirely different, like a glass of wine at sunset on a beach in Fiji, sharing a walk together and simply talking, or sharing holidays because you both want this and have the same interests. That is truly fulfilling. Surprising each other with a special gift on any day other than Valentine's Day, birthdays, and Christmas is about attention to detail. Knowing what they love and seeking it out just because you love them. Story 7. Dancing with friends, family, and spouse is like a great celebration of the end of one life and the beginning of another. A wedding is a ceremony with profound significance, and I tear up when the room hushes and the bride walks down the aisle. I am married. Story 8. I love weddings. They are so much fun. There are lots of people to meet, dancing, food, drinks, fun little details in the venue and decoration, and the opportunity to wear nice clothes and show off a little. I do not understand those who are negative or dull at events like these. Story 9. What is up with the comments? Uncomfortable clothes? Boring? Just there for the beer? Do you all go to see strangers getting married or what? No, because even then, why are you wearing uncomfortable clothes? Do you all not know how to dress properly? If I am at a wedding, it means that I am going to see someone I know start a new chapter in their life. I am going to have fun, enjoy the food, the atmosphere, and the people, and yes, I will drink their alcohol too. It is a celebration, folks. Have fun with it and stop being so antisocial. Story 10. I like weddings. I do not like how some people can go way too over the top with them, but I like regular ones. I got to be a man of honor once, and I have helped perform the ceremony a couple of times as an altar server. Story 11. Not really. Especially when I am the best man. That's more like, don't mess this up. It has been about 10 years, give or take, since each of the 2 times I was best man. Both grooms still praise me for my duties as best man, and they were very different weddings and bachelor parties. Both were an awesome time. Is there a market for professional best men? There must be men who do not have much of a social circle to choose a best man from. If you are working long hours and making good money, maybe you might pay someone to be a professional best man. Kind of like a personal speechwriter and event coordinator for the bachelor party. Story 12. I feel bad for each groom. They walk down the aisle and it seems like no one cares, but once the bride shows up, everyone is on their feet taking pictures. It is literally just a party and ceremony for the woman. Story 13. I go to people watch, eat food, and definitely dessert. Pittsburgh cookie tables are a major thing if you do not know. I drink, then I play the if I were single, who would I try to date tonight game in my head. Story 14. I am in my 40s. I have never been in a relationship, but I have attended many weddings. Occasionally, I get a feeling of wow, I will never experience this moment, but it is rare. Story 15. No, it just makes me wish it was over already, and I want to go home. Has she had enough wedding vibes? Can we go yet? They are happy. I am happy. Now can we please go? Story 16. Nothing in particular. Back when I was single, it was a chance to enjoy an open bar, look my best, and maybe chat with a bridesmaid. Story 17. I love weddings. I love meeting people. I love drinking and dancing. I love seeing friends and family I do not get to see often. I love love. Best weekends ever. Story 18. I really do not enjoy formal events. I do not drink and do not really enjoy dancing. Normally, I help out. If an item is missing, I go get it. Catering needs help. I am the person. I try to stay useful. Story 19. I really don't like going, but I go to support friends and family. I usually leave early. I have stood up about 4 times, which I enjoyed, but I was glad when it was over. Please stop making your friends buy suits if they are your groomsmen. Story 20. I don't mind weddings in theory, but I've been to about 20 since COVID-19 ended, so I'm getting pretty tired of them. They're always out of town, so I have to travel and pay to stay somewhere. They're usually in the middle of summer with a dress code of suit or even black tie. I don't do well in the heat, so it's difficult. To top it off, the whole event from ceremony to reception often lasts around 8 hours. It's exhausting when every wedding is essentially the same, making it hard to stay energetic unless you're really close to one of the couple. Story 21. This sub has become so sterile and pragmatic. Yes, it is romantic. The right weddings always are. Whether the cost was $40,000 or $40, the best weddings fully embody the couple's relationship and mark what is possibly the most romantic gesture. A promise to spend your lives together, to support each other, to raise each other up through the good times and the bad. They are inherently one of the best days in each party's life. If you cannot take joy for either the bride, the groom, or their families in that, then you may not belong there. Story 22. I get emotional, especially if it is a family member who is getting married. I cried intensely at my brother's wedding. Story 23. I am excited and happy for my friend. I am here to support the couple and to celebrate their next step. Story 24. I think the social company is nice as a third party, but I would be stressed out of my mind if I were one of the main characters. The waste of money would be the primary concern, but succumbing to societal expectations would bother me immensely personally. I do not see it as romantic. Weddings do not benefit the men. Story 25. To me, in my late 20s, having a partner is, of course, a very sweet thing. But being single is not bad at all. I enjoy spending time with myself, doing whatever I want, and making every decision on my own. Story 26. Being my best friend's best man was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I love him and his wife, and they will remain 2 of my closest friends forever. The entire week was brilliant, and I will remember it for the rest of my life. Story 27. I hate them, to be honest. They mostly make me feel depressed and acutely aware that I am still single. If it were not such a social expectation to attend, I would not. Story 28. I go out of support for the couple and the social obligation. Otherwise, I would much rather be elsewhere. I do not drink, so the free alcohol is not even a bonus for me. Weddings, as they exist today, are a ritualized display of vanity, with love almost existing as an afterthought. Story 29. Some weddings are formal events where you are expected to give gifts to people you barely know, eat the same 3 chicken dishes, make small talk with other couples, and sit quietly to watch slow dances before leaving after signing a guest book. Other weddings are lively parties with people you love, where the celebration only ends when asked to leave the venue, then continues in several hotel rooms, with music playing until early morning, possibly breaking an elevator and waking up happy. It is largely up to the people getting married to decide what kind of wedding they want, but I prefer a lively party in the woods over a costly black tie affair any day of the week. Story 30. Like, I want to get the hell out of there. Weddings are generally funerals for men. The fun stops for them after that. They can no longer hang out with their friends, except for those handpicked by the wife. I attended a lot of my friends' weddings, plus one brother, and their wives shut them down after this day. No more fun, little or no communication is allowed. My friends would say to me, "We can't hang out anymore because the wife says I can't. So why should I go to a celebration marking the end of our friendship?" Half my friends since then have gotten divorced. I haven't given them the time of day, though. I know our friendship only had value when they were originally single, so why should I try to restore what we once had if they are willing to throw it all away again? The woman who married my brother refused to let him see me for 5 years because to her, it was weird that I am still single. I was strange and therefore not worthy of seeing my own brother. Like so many men emasculated by their wives, he easily caved in. I am only hanging out with him now because she passed away last year. Story 31. Are the bridesmaids attractive? No. Is the food good? No. Then my time there will be short and I have mentally checked out. Story 32. Bored and uncomfortable both physically and from being around so many people. Annoyed by loud music. I really don't see anything to like about weddings. I don't attend other people's weddings anymore. I don't see the point in going. I send a small gift to anyone who invites me instead. The last wedding I attended was my own. Until my children get married, it's unlikely I will attend any weddings for the rest of my life. Story 33. Before going, anticipation. There might be an attractive woman there I can meet in my dreams. Church park. Boring and there are no attractive women here. Party. Let's get drunk and dance because it looks like I'll be alone again tonight. Story 34. To be honest, I hate them. I will only go to one for immediate family or my closest friends. I do not drink, do not really enjoy dancing, and they always trigger feelings about being a widower in me. Story 35. I think it is 100 times worse when you know this is not going to last, and the couple are spending tens of thousands on a pointless party. I have watched a friend do this twice now. He is doing well with partner number 3, which is nice. Story 36. I have always felt uncomfortable. I am wearing clothes I would never wear. I am surrounded by people I do not know. I am just waiting for it to be over. Story 37. Happy for the couple, but only at first. After a while, I am just bored and ready to go home and change into more comfortable clothes. Story 38. They are mostly boring. I resent having to take a day off work to go. My nephew recently gave me a save-the-date card, and I tried telling him how romantic it would be to elope. Story 39. Attending as a guest. Bored and uncomfortable, just wanting to leave. Attending in the wedding party. As above, but anxiety completely overrides the boredom. Story 40. The last wedding I attended was an intense experience. I ascended from 200 feet mean sea level to 7,000 feet mean sea level in the span of one morning of flights and spent the next day recovering from fatigue. Frankly, I do not remember much from that weekend. Story 41. I haven't gone to one with a girlfriend or date in years. I hate dancing. I dislike small talk with acquaintances and strangers. They are my worst nightmare. I feel a slight, temporary increase in both my desire for a long-term pair bond and my appreciation for the existence of love. Story 42. Drunk. I usually feel very intoxicated and happy to be among people I like on a day celebrating people I love. My tie and the tie of those around me seem to end up as headbands after 11 p.m. and the dance floor just calls your name. Story 43. Weddings are fun. When I used to attend a wedding with an open bar, it was pretty much guaranteed to be a great time. Now it is just good food and hanging out with friends while dressed up, which is also enjoyable. My own wedding was greatly scaled down by coronavirus but ended up being fun. Story 44. I always have some role when going to a wedding, so I am usually preoccupied with making sure everything goes as well as possible. I would not say that being at a wedding makes me crave a romantic relationship, and I do not think I appreciate it more or less than usual. Story 45. Quiet reflection. Heart swelling with joy for the couple. Thoughts running through the back of my mind from wedding crashers. Story 46. Depends on how well I know the couple. The few I have attended, I enjoyed because I loved the people involved. Story 47. I do not know. At a lot of weddings I have attended, I knew for a fact that either one person was desperate or they both just gave up. Story 48. If I know many people at the wedding, I usually look forward to the drinks, food, and reception. I am obviously happy for the couple. If I only know the couple or a few select people, then I silently judge how all the men are dressed. Are their jackets too short? Are their lapels bowing out? Are they wearing the appropriate colored shoes? Are their pants too low rise? How did they tie their tie knot? Are they even wearing a tie? Did they follow the dress code? Did they wear a black suit, which is only reserved for funerals and should never be worn at a wedding unless it is a tuxedo? Who am I kidding? I judge what they are wearing no matter what. Story 49. I have never been to a wedding. If my brother got married, I would be feeling very happy for him. He deserves that. Yes, I would feel the romance because that is what I want for myself too. Story 50. There are people I sort of know in food. So I guess somewhere between a friend group dinner party and a work seminar. Story 51. The wedding itself is usually a bit boring, but the party afterward is fun for sure. I don't necessarily feel like weddings elicit a feeling of romance anymore since, to me, weddings have lost their meaning after divorce has become so common. I'm not saying divorce is bad, per se, but it feels like people marry just to marry, not to show their commitment and love for each other. So I am happy for the bride and groom, but it doesn't evoke any special feelings in me. Story 52. It had the same feeling as a big birthday party, but I was sharing the attention with my favorite person. I also teared up when she came down the aisle. The groomsmen and I played Mortal Kombat in the dressing room, which was exciting. Story 53. Usually, I assess the food options and report back to friends about them in an excited manner. Crying may occur if a dog is involved in the service. Story 54. After attending many weddings, they became boring for me because it is a succession of the same acts, the same music and bland food. There are some weddings that I have genuinely enjoyed, but they are few. Story 55. If you mean the ceremony, it is boring and usually physically uncomfortable. The reception is usually fun. Story 56. Weddings are wonderful, filled with joy all around. If they are both my friends, being there to witness the moment is a great celebration of love. There are also memorable parties afterward. Story 57. I usually feel a little nervous, anxious, and tense because I want to make my contribution to make this day special by looking my best and doing my best to create a warm, welcoming, and kind solemn atmosphere. If I am close to the couple, this feeling is stronger. Being in a long-term relationship, I tend to mirror my relationship with the relationship of the couple getting married and the other couples attending. You compare narratives and exchange glances with your partner. It can be a nice celebration of love for everyone, perhaps with a hint of bitterness if everything is not going perfectly smooth in your own life or relationship. Story 58. I attended one of my friend's weddings, and it was great fun. It was a bit awkward at the start because I did not know many people. However, it turned out to be enjoyable, and I even met a lovely woman with whom I have become great friends. Story 59. I just enjoy the celebration for what it is. The party, the friends, and the food, without getting too deep into the romantic side of things. It definitely makes me think about relationships, love, and sometimes what is missing, but it does not always mean I walk away desperately wanting one right away. Story 60. No, I hate to go. I do not enjoy any second of it, and I just want to leave the minute I arrive. I would rather waste my time doing something I enjoy. It does not make me love my girlfriend more. If anything, it makes me angry because she made me go. Story 61. At a wedding, the only things a man is likely processing are observations of people watching, the food, and the atmosphere. If he is single, he might spot a lady of interest. However, at the weddings I have attended, I have never once thought about or felt a craving for romance. Story 62. If it is a good friend, I am excited for them to start a new chapter of their life with someone they love. If it is a wedding where I do not really know the people, such as extended family weddings, I get aggravated because Catholic weddings are long and boring. I try to talk to a few friends, maybe meet a few new people, and debate who the most attractive single bridesmaid is so no one can talk to her and I can go home, as I am not trying to date anymore. Story 63. I think about my wedding and then taking that dress off my wife after our wedding. I remember making love to her in the beautiful panties and bra she wore underneath. That usually turns me on to make love to her when we get home. So yes, I am ready for a wedding. Story 64. I do not know anyone craving romance at another person's wedding. Most of the time, when we are there to support a friend, have fun, party, and enjoy that friend's generosity. Story 65. It's a happy occasion, but I don't like big crowds. So I tend to slip off as early as is polite during the reception. I am, of course, thrilled to see a friend or a family member have what should be the happiest day of their life, but I find it overwhelming and need to get some peace and quiet. My sister, knowing that's what I do, booked me a room where her wedding was so I could take some time to recharge my social energy if I needed to and come back later. It was very good of her. Story 66. I do not enjoy weddings at all. I do not like being in crowds of people. I am always too warm, 39 degrees Celsius, and I have been that way my entire life, so I am prone to sweating, which is worsened by the need to wear dress clothes. Since a series of losses and funerals, I really dislike being inside churches because it makes me think of how much I miss those people. I have a wedding to attend this weekend. I love the bride and groom and wish them all the best, but I would honestly rather be anywhere else. I would rather work for free for my employer for 6 hours instead or, as others have suggested, go to a dentist appointment or something. I have been hoping for a month now that I will come down with food poisoning or something on the day of, so I have a legitimate reason not to go and just send a gift. Story 67. My boyfriend literally spent the entire wedding calculating how much everything cost. The flowers, the venue, the food, everything. By the end of the night, he said, "That's a down payment on a house right there." It made me rethink my dream wedding plans. Story 68. Weddings. Free drinks, food, and best of all, cake. Lots of cake. My friend will be distracted, so I can have as much cake as I want. Wanting, feeling, craving, appreciating romantic love? Cake. In my cake hole. Washed down with champagne or free scotch. Love weddings. Story 69. Weddings are usually expensive, boring events with mediocre food. Weddings are definitely not something to go into debt over. Story 70. Does not make me crave romance whatsoever. I am usually there for someone I know, and it makes me happy to see them happy, but that is about it. Story 71. Ugh, hate weddings. Could be because I went to 9 in 2 years, could be because I'm usually way too involved in the process, could be because I'm usually single, but either way, not a huge fan. They're so contrived. I mean, I get it, you're in love, but your wedding isn't special, especially if it's your second or third. Come on. It's not like in the past when you actually needed anything on your registry. You're about to have a dual income household, which means twice the income that I make, so I'm not buying you a blender. Story 72. Just curious if being at a wedding makes you crave or appreciate romantic love. Romantic love is something women experience. Men seldom experience this. Most of the time, when I am sitting at a wedding, I think about how much of a waste of money the entire event is. We could have had a great time in someone's backyard with better food for a fraction of the cost and time. I also think about how long it will be before the bar situation turns sour and family conflicts arise. Then I consider how early I can leave without being too disrespectful because I had no interest in being there in the first place. The only real wedding thought I have is a brief, "Oh, look at how beautiful the bride looks. The groom can really clean up." I have only attended heterosexual weddings. Story 73. I always say the same thing about any wedding. For the people getting married, it is one of the best days of their lives. For everyone else, it is a wasted Saturday. I do not know anyone who actually likes going to weddings, let alone getting some sort of romantic feeling from one. Story 74. bored out of my mind and eagerly awaiting the reception drinks. Do you crave and appreciate romantic love? Romance is an action for us, not a thing. Story 75. Just curious if it makes you crave or appreciate romantic love being at a wedding. Not at all. Good food, fun times, and hanging out with great friends on another great friend's hopefully most important night. Story 76. I have been to a few, and they are not my preference. It is nice that someone is having a big celebration for their marriage. However, in reality, it is mostly for the women. In my humble opinion, it is a woman's event. The men just want to drink and get the night over with, even the grooms. Story 77. Please do not ask me to dance. Are you serious right now? Story 78. I am personally very busy and would prefer not to go. 80% of the weddings I have attended ended in divorce and remarriage. It is a complete waste of time to do that twice. Story 79. I just examine the cost of everything and think of how much better it would be spent on an epic holiday. Story 80. It felt awkward. I understand love and all that, but it is a bit irrelevant to show it at an event. Love is all day, every day. That is what is special about it. Story 81. Totally depends on who you are there with. We understand that for our partner or girlfriend, weddings can sometimes be a confrontational situation, often because of an aunt whose daughter is inconsiderate and wore white to the wedding. Meanwhile, we are doing Jaeger bombs and hoping you are not mad at us for getting drunk. Women, you can fake an orgasm, but you cannot fake a good mood at a barbecue. Sam Morrill. Story 82. If it is a close relative or many family members are present, I enjoy it. If not, then I would be very bored. Story 83. Okay, after reading the comments in this thread, men are clearly explaining why they are alone without realizing it. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.